I'm hearing all roads lead to you with this follow your heart energy. So it feels like this is somebody who has taken a step back from this connection. They got spooked. They got overwhelmed. They didn't know how to proceed forward. And this is somebody who turned away for just a minute. They looked away for just a minute and you were gone, which it feels like has almost kind of like set them off on some kind of pilgrimage where there is a deep need to transcend fears inside of themselves in order to seize an opportunity, seize a moment with you, be able to kind of like stand in your presence and look you in the eye once more. This is somebody that feels like they have weighed the pros and cons of this situation extensively. There's been a lot of overthinking, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of soul searching that has gone on, where the easier path, or what they thought would have been the easier path, would have just been to like shut down their feelings, try to find somebody else to fill that space or fill that void in their life where your presence once was more pronounced or obvious, or they were interacting with you more, seeing you more regularly, having some kind of connection or a relationship. And it feels like even kind of just giving too much thought towards that is something which keeps kind of like bringing them back around to the reality that you have made such a profound impression upon them, that it's almost like I need to see this experience through to the next layer or next level. Like I try to distract myself and then the universe kind of pushes me back in your direction. So a lot of signs and synchronicities relating to that this person almost like romantically or emotionally, it's like they can't progress or advance forward in other directions. The universe won't let them outrun this because there is something to be experienced, something by way of like fears inside that they are supposed to confront, that you have come into their life almost as like a destined connection, something where you could have a soul contract with one another, and there's a sense of almost like they need to address this somehow. They need to come face to face with their own reflection that they have run from. And it feels like this is something where this person has come to the conclusion of like, you weren't giving off any kind of like red flags or, like a toxic vibe. It's like they ran from the essence of like a deep, pure light and love that radiated very naturally from you whenever they were close. And this is somebody that doubted that like you were seeing them correctly. This is somebody that is almost kind of like, are you sure you have the right person? Are you just in like loving the idea of me? How could you possibly, kind of see through all of my flaws? How could you possibly, kind of like share yourself with me so generously? Like if you knew the real me, you'd turn and run in the opposite direction. And maybe you did kind of like, take a step back as well. This person fumbled the situation or they hesitated and, your walls went up. You had enough self-respect to not chase, or if you chase them for a period of time, at some point to like discontinue that chase and reroute in another direction, which has given this person the opportunity to confront almost that question of like, what was I so afraid of? What was I running from? Like this person, like you, the viewer, you were doing everything right. You were saying everything right. This person was giving you certain like indicators, certain signals, and you were responding to those things appropriately. You were following their lead, and at a certain point in time, they hesitated or dropped the ball in this situation, and so they recognize and are like brought around to this fact at this particular point in time. Like there's got to be some kind of resolution, some sort of evolution that takes place within this connection, because they are unable to outrun like the memory of you, the experience of you, this connection that they have had with you. And it's something to where it's almost, they feel that like a certain layer of like peace inside of themselves is associated with standing in your presence, looking you deeply in the eye and confessing to you like, yeah, I love you. I've always loved you. this was love and I have like turned in the opposite direction from that, but because this is love, it keeps leading me back towards you. All these roads lead to you. We have be curious, look deeper. So this person's definitely like checking you out from afar, lurking, looking at social media, looking you up. This could be somebody that has like a third party that sort of like tells them about things that are going on in your life, or they've reached out to somebody that in common, like a mutual person, sort of like, I need some advice about this situation. I really messed up and I need to know what I can do to kind of soften the injury that has occurred, to like correct any hurt feelings, to make up for my mistakes in the past, because the bottom line is I really love this person. This is something where it feels like they've had a very deep conversation, or a series of really deep and honest conversations, maybe even with someone very close to you, or somebody that they know. Like if this person approached as like a mediator, as almost kind of like a trusted third person, or like a neutral third party, that would be kind of like a good way to sort of get their foot in the door with you. Because this is somebody that almost feels like, I don't know if you would just flat out reject me if I approached you directly, but I can't just sort of like let this energy linger between the two of us. I can't sit in the nature of this mistake that has happened. And there's a sense of not even somebody that feels like they just want to provide closure, but this is somebody that's like, please let me redeem myself. I will do whatever it takes in order to prove to you that I am committed to making change within my life, or that I have made certain changes that are necessary in order for us to like overcome the obstacles that existed in the past. Somebody, it feels like that if this is somebody that is, not just kind of like a friend, but like a family member, for example, or even like a close friend, like somebody that would have your best interests at heart, they're really holding this person to task. There's like a series of tests, requirements. There's like things that this person needs to do or needs to prove before this other individual is going to like give them the blessing to move forward, before this other individual is going to like help facilitate some kind of communication, meeting between the two of you, something where it's kind of like they kind of warm you up to the fact of like, yeah, this person reached out to me. We've had some discussions. We've had some meetings with one another. I checked out what they have to say. Like they really love you. They really feel bad about what happened. They really want to try to make up for the past. They really want to try and do the right thing in this circumstance. And I believe them. I believe that this is a person that has like genuine best interests at heart. This is somebody who is moving with good intentions. Like I checked them out. I vetted out the situation. And so if you are open to hearing what this person has to say, or giving them the opportunity to prove themselves, then this is almost somebody that will like vouch for this person. And so it feels like this might have even been somebody that has been like dealing with this individual, for a little while. Like they didn't just sort of like have one conversation with this person, like, okay, you've convinced me. Sure, let me put in a good word for you. Let me kind of like work some things behind the scenes, or, orchestrate a situation where, there's kind of like a neutral territory, common ground, where you are able to approach this person, to approach you, the viewer, and sort of state your case, or make that effort and attempt to kind of make amends, reconcile, to begin again, not just to create closure, but to really create a fresh start. This is something where this has been kind of like an ongoing process, something where, because this individual now finds themselves in like a Five of Pentacles energy on the outskirts of your life, kind of like watching from afar, like that Two of Wands energy, sort of like watching from afar, wishing that they could be closer to you, wishing that they had done things differently, but understanding all they can do is progress forward and try to make different circumstances in the here and now. This is something that it feels like they're not kind of just moving in a solitary energy, but they have other people that are trying to like like give them advice or guide them, or in some sort of way it feels like want to approach you also, or to try to give you some degree of like confidence or reassurance, especially if it's like family members or close friends of yours, that is sort of like, yeah, I believe this person is very genuine in terms of what they're trying to say at this point. So if you're open to hearing that out, you have my blessing, you have our blessing to see kind of like, is this circumstance salvageable? Do you like what this person has to say now? Because it feels like this is somebody who's gone through and is going through some sort of deep personal transformation. Things that you might have stated were kind of like deal breakers in the past, like an ultimatum, or things that were just kind of like incongruencies between the two of you, where it's like these factors interfered with the connection in the past, or these were things that kind of hindered the level of joy or contributed to those fears in the past. Things that this person might have had going on in their life, habits, lifestyle choices, kind of like a way of looking at the world or moving through the world that could have been inconsistent, incompatible with like a healthy connection, a safe connection, a high vibrational connection, a long-term connection. And so this is somebody that has really taken the initiative to kind of like hear what it is that you have told them, or see what it is you are demonstrating in terms of the ways in which you're living your life presently for what they know is like not tolerable in your circumstance. They understand that there's kind of like something that they need to present, something that they need to bring to the table in this situation, where they're adding to the measure of the value of your life, or they're meeting you on that equal footing. They see that you're not going to tolerate like them or people that are just going to like drag you down, or are going to bring a lot of chaos or toxicity into your life. Like you're prioritizing your peace. You've either needed to kind of like do some healing in the aftermath of like going your separate ways from this person, or this is something that you were already on track for, that you were already on this trajectory to like improve your life in some way. And so this is somebody that's like, yeah, I need to be on board with that fully, or I can just kind of count myself out. I could consider myself to just be this kind of like perpetual watcher from the sidelines, which doesn't feel comfortable for that person. So this is somebody that feels like that doesn't just want to bring in like empty promises. I promise I'll change. I promise I'll be different. Like they have already made very substantial changes. They've got certain things that are in the works, that are underway, that have been going on for a long time, relatively speaking, that it feels like there's other people that can vouch for that. And like, yeah, I've watched this person put in the effort, not just because the change was good for themselves, but it was in the interest of like, I got to win this person back. I got to get back in there. I have to reconcile. I have to make up for kind of like the error that has been created in this situation, or the ways in which I kind of like allowed fears to sort of create an obstacle, or to mess up what we had with one another, or what we were building towards in the past. Yeah, we've got become your own sovereign. So this person sees that you've gone through some kind of profound glow up, some kind of profound elevation in your life, or maybe a series of glow ups and elevations. You are shining so brightly. You are radiant. You are absolutely gorgeous. You are a beautiful creature, a beautiful human being. This is somebody that saw that beauty in you before, but you have become so much more radiant in the time since they have taken like a back seat in your life, or are now kind of on the outskirts of your reality, that in many ways it's like it's you, but you are so profoundly enhanced from the version of you that they were dealing with in the past, that it's almost like it is non-negotiable that this person needs to come towards you with some sort of momentum that they have in place in their life, not changes that they are just beginning, but something that they understand and have understood for a while, because it feels like they've been keeping tabs for a while, or like checking in for a while, or somebody that they've been like talking to that has maybe been a gatekeeper between you and this person, kind of like, you got to go through me to get to them. You're not going to give this person the runaround again. You're not going to like derail their progress. You're not going to create more heartbreak for this person than has already been the case in their life or in their experiences with you, to where this is something that, this person understands that it's like, yeah, I as well have to have gone through some kind of profound change. I need to be in my shining and glowing energy as well. in order to even be able to kind of like stand in your presence and bring something to the table that, regardless of other people that might be like kind of operating as like buffers. Like gatekeeper sounds more of just like a word of control. This is almost people that are just, they have your back, they have your best interests at heart. They see what you've been through in your life or what you went through with this person, and it's kind of like you need to sort of get other people's blessing and approval if you're trying to come back in here, because it's not tolerable, to just kind of come in and create more chaos. Like there's people in your life, maybe even people you'd be very surprised that are very protective over you, this version of you, like they've always been protective, but they're very protective right now, that have made it clear to this person, most likely very directly through a conversation, series of conversations of like, yeah, you can have your opportunity, you can make that effort, but you better make sure that you're for real, you better make sure that you're serious, you better not bring any nonsense into this situation, because this person, like you the viewer, has worked very hard to become this version of you, and that this is something that you protect that fiercely, other people are protecting that fiercely. This person who wants to approach, wants to try again, wants to do right by you, they really understand that it's like, yeah, the burden of proof is on them, not only to convince you to kind of like work with them to overcome the hurts and disappointments of the past, but also to really, it feels like, get to know like an upgraded version of them, and to see if that's compatible with like who you've become. Like the idea of this person returning might sound really great, but it almost feels like something that this person recognizes, like we won't actually know if we are still a match, if we still click, if the vibe still works, if our paths are aligned, because you are so different from the person that I remember. You're so different from the person that I disappointed. You're so different from the person that I ran away from. And I too have gone through changes, and I feel that we are aligned. I feel we've been moving in the same direction. This person may actually sort of see like these independent changes you each have made it very abundantly clear you're on some kind of parallel pathway, that it makes sense to align with one another. You're still in sync, or you're more deeply in sync than you were in the past. But this is somebody that recognizes like they better not bring nonsense to you. It's almost kind of like that would be something that you would see right through it. It's got to be genuine. It's got to be real. It's got to be deep. It's got to be consistent. It's got to be something, long term. It's got to be something that satisfies your requirements and also makes the people that care about you comfortable as well. So it feels like this individual knows that it's kind of like the scrutiny that they are under. It's not just, are you going to be willing to kind of like, forgive and forget the past, or, kind of like try again, sort of like rebuild it in another direction, but how are other people in your life going to receive the efforts that this person makes in what is like an upgraded version of themselves, and also the recognition of like, I need to still be constantly committed to growing and evolving alongside of you, because they see that you are on a very positive trajectory. You are moving in a very beautiful direction, and this is a glow which is like translating from the inside out. You've beautified your life, you've beautified the internal landscape, and that is showing. There's like an abundance about you. You're very magnetic at this time. Things may be going very well for you, and so this is somebody that wants to contribute to that rather than kind of create complications in that sense for you. Yeah, we have share your wisdom with others, shine your light. So again, this person recognizes you as really just in a very exquisite energy at this point. This is a sense of like you have found your stride again. You have made heartbreak and the process of healing looks so easy, but this person knows better than anybody what you've been through, because they were the one that put you through that, or one of the ones that contributed to things that you might have needed to kind of sift through, overcome, create peace for yourself in the aftermath of, and rebuild your life in a different direction. The fact that you still move through the world with an open heart and with compassion, it feels like is very inspiring to this person. This is somebody that wants to come in close. They want to protect this connection. They want to do right by you in all the ways that they were not capable of doing before, that they failed to do before. It feels like they have a lot of regret for like missed opportunities or a sense of somebody that might almost feel like there's a big burden that they have to kind of like do more than just say they're sorry or to own up to where they fell short in this connection. There's something where it's almost like they need to make that up to you. The loss of time, or for like every tear that you've cried, they want to supplement that instead with like a beautiful kiss. Like this is somebody that really wants to like pour into you. They really want to fill that space that was like emptied out inside of you through whatever has happened, the letdown in this circumstance with them. And it's almost a sense of kind of like this person may have an awareness of sort of other things you've gone through, other things you were going through at the time when this happened with them, things you'd been through in the past. And it's this is almost somebody that like the guilt is kind of eating them alive over that. Like, I never wanted to be one of those people that's on the list of heartbreakers in your life. I never wanted to be one of those people that would make you question your worth, question your value, question if you are lovable. I never wanted to be one of those people that would make you sort of feel that love wasn't safe, or wasn't safe to trust or to open up your heart. Like if you have trust issues, this is somebody that feels like there's a big responsibility that they have to move very carefully with you, to be very patient with the process of you like learning to trust them again. Somebody that it feels like recognizes like you have had to go through some kind of profound change. Something has been catalyzed within you. It was absolutely necessary that you reinvent yourself in the aftermath of the experience that you had with them. And there's also a sense of kind of like, I too have become someone else. This has kind of forced me into this experience of metamorphosis. I've created a cocoon for myself. I've gone in, I've changed. I intend to continue to move with those waves of change, almost like in the direction that you determine. If this had been somebody in the past that was leading with a lot of ego, they were determined to, sort of control the outcome in the situation. This is somebody that surrenders to you. They surrender their heart. This is somebody that is not, they're not passive and just kind of like, whatever, take me wherever, kind of just make me be very submissive to you. But this is somebody that recognizes some degree of almost like emotional authority or spiritual authority that has come through during your process of healing and putting your broken pieces back together. They see you in a different light now because you've created that light inside of you. You've become that light in the darkness. And so there's a lot of respect that they have for you. There's a sense of like, this in a way is almost your true form, this like sovereignty, this light, this power that you have like self-generated through healing, through becoming your own medicine, your own remedy, your own cure. And so this is a sense of feeling that like, if you would be gracious enough to give this person another chance, then kind of like all the ways in which they handled this situation or mishandled it in the past, this is somebody that is like, I will do absolutely the opposite of everything that I had done before that has led to this circumstance where now I'm having to come back towards you, and really show you and show people around you that I am worthy of consideration for a second chance, because just as you've been sort of forced to change, I too have pushed myself into that experience of change. You have become the light, and so I have had to become the light as well. Yeah, we also have become the master you seek. So again, this is somebody that has gone through a very substantial transformation. You're going to be very surprised, very pleasantly surprised at the things, people, places, and things that this person has cut out of their life. Not just because these things weren't in alignment with kind of their highest good, but things that they had recognized, or people, people, places, and things that they had recognized were like absolutely detrimental to the situation between the two of you in the past. Things that would be like, if these people, places, and things were still around, they might not as well even approach you. It would be deal breakers. It's things that do not align with who you are, with your well-being, or with what you've chosen for yourself. This is somebody that has made sacrifices on behalf of this connection in the interest of like, these are the things that I have removed from my presence, that I've evolved beyond, that I have shed from my experience. because it was the best thing to do for myself, but the real intention was so I would have something true to offer to you. These are the things that I have stepped beyond in the interest of showing you that I am willing to do whatever it takes in order to match your vibration, in order to be that alignment with you, in order to secure a future for the two of us. This is also somebody that it feels like has gone through a process of soul searching and has come to a deep understanding of the fact that they were like running from love when they were with you in the past. It was nothing that you were doing wrong. It was the fact that there was something inside of themselves that was very loyal to a pervasive sense of woundedness. This is somebody that's gone on some kind of like spiritual pilgrimage, some kind of quest inside. This is somebody that didn't just like have a spontaneous spiritual awakening, but they have sought out truths. They have sought out answers. They have looked at themselves from many different angles. This maybe even be somebody that's, gone to therapy. They've done some self-help. They've aligned with some kind of program, some kind of process, something where it's like they have done a lot of catharsis inside. They have shed a lot of layers of sort of false identity. They have dissolved their ego and they have coagulated into a different version of themselves. It feels like this person's energy is going to speak for itself as well, in terms of like, I'm not just promising you that I have changed, but it's going to be real obvious. Before I even open my mouth, you're going to be able to sense that my presence is entirely different. It is clarified, it is purified, it is clean, it is reinforced, it is a strong signal to be different from kind of like the static that they had brought into the situation before. It feels like also the way in which this person just kind of like physically looks, their whole disposition, their mood, their mindset, the habits, the people that they are around, the things that are doing in their life at this point, all of that is going to speak volumes as far as somebody that isn't just, again, giving you empty promises of like, yeah, I've changed, I promise I'll be different, I'm going to try real hard this time. This is somebody that is like, let me show you what I have already taken the initiative to do in order to bring that better version of myself out from a place of just excuses or theory and to embody that in the here and now. So the version of me stepping forth towards you with the blessings of these other people that I have sought, the guidance and advice of other people that I am bringing into this situation, to give you reassurances that like, yeah, these changes are real. Yes, there's others that have kind of like checked this out and are vouching for this person, or people that have given them like sound and good advice as far as like things they need to do, encouragement on how to approach, how to try to fix this situation, so that this is something that they bring almost the empowerment of, like a lot of love towards you. This isn't just somebody that wants to kind of sneak in the back door and, hey, let's just try to fix things just between you and me and keep it quiet. This is somebody that wants to, be with you. They want to be with you in the light of day. They want the world to know. This is somebody that is no longer afraid of this connection. They're no longer afraid of this love. They desire more than anything to look you in the eyes, to see that love there that kind of like reaches deep into their soul, that they had kind of doubted was genuine before because they didn't have that kind of love for themselves. They couldn't find it for themselves. So it was like, what are you even looking at? How do you even see that within me? I can't see that within myself. They have found themselves now. They have that real self-love. And so this is somebody that, wants to kind of like hold your gaze. They don't want to look away. They want to pull you in closer. They want to kiss and make up. They want to make up for lost time. They want to, return that essence to you as well, of all of this kind of like profound love that you have connected to deep within them in the past. And this is somebody that now is kind of like strong enough or evolved enough or mature enough within themselves. They've changed enough within themselves as a person, like in an overall sense, to be able to kind of like match you along that frequency and to not let go this time. So, those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.